excuse me, or a spade here, which would give her lots of outs. I wonder if she'll fire it. Ooh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's a nice card.
She's got up and down straight draw now, although
She'll bet it again now. Whereas I think without the 9, she might have checked.
Check.
Oh, there you go.
this is a good signal to Cox that his hand is good, isn't it?
This could, from what I've heard of Pippa's game, this could be a raise here.
Called.
Well, we'll get something right in a minute, Jesse.
Yeah, she decided to call. I think both these guys are kind of dancing on eggshells a little bit here, aren't they? And that's real trouble for Pippa.
Check.
Because if Ian didn't like his hand on the turn, he sure likes it now.
Yeah, well, whatever he bets here, I'll just think again.
12,000. All in. Raised, all in.
You see what I mean? But if you're not expecting to put all your chips in, then you should have just checked. So
Pippa Flanders has gone all in. Ian Cox has the winning hand right now, but will have to risk going out of this semi-final if he wants to come through. And there's a little of a subplot here, Ian.
I think he'll call, Jesse.
The subplot is the last time Ian played in a televised tournament, he won his heat and got knocked out first in the semi-final.
I still think he'll call here. You know, if he thinks about this, you know, what can he do? The best hand he can put Pippa on is the same as what he's got. If he thinks he's out-kicked. The time for her to raise, I think, when it was on the turn myself. But she's showing some classy play here.
Well, it would have been insane, really, for Pippa to have check-called 2-pair or set on the turn, wouldn't it have?
Yeah.
With all those draws out there.
Yeah.
I mean, she has to be bluffing here, he might think.
Well, I'll put her on the 10.
Cox will have some thinking about it, but you think he's good enough to backtrack here?
Well, you know, once he makes the bet on the river, he's got to be looking. Think to yourself before you make the bet. Well, if she comes over the top, what am I going to do? And if he thinks he's going to pass, then don't make the bet.
We have seen Pippa Flanders play a fine edge before, but
he's played the 10 very passively. He's going to put it down.
Oh my gosh!
10 deuce.
He played it too passively, didn't he? Really, that's unbelievable.
At the end of the day, Ian, he's just kind of underestimated Pippa at the end there, hasn't he? On the river, it seems like he's underestimated the first that she wouldn't raise him all in, and secondly that she wasn't capable of making a bluff.
Well, I think if he played his own hand more aggressively, there would have been a different outcome.
Frightened the living daylight out of any pip.
Pippa Flanders has been showing the boys how it's done. She recently scooped $200,000 and the World Open title, one of the biggest ever wins for a female in Europe. Now everyone knows her name.
I noticed that a lot of people start off their conversation A by saying hello Pippa when I've absolutely no idea who they are, and B by saying I've seen you playing, I know how you play, which is a bit off-putting really, because yes, they know how I play in a TV tournament, but it's not the same way that I play in an ordinary tournament.
Pippa's really made her mark on the poker scene with that big money win, but she started playing the game to spend more time with her husband, Tim.
If it wasn't for Tim, I wouldn't play it at all, because I only started playing so I could join in. Tim wanted something to stretch his mind a bit, and he started playing poker and he enjoyed it. And I found that I spent a lot of time in bed waiting for the tournament he was in to end and him to come home, and I thought, well, I can carry on doing this and that's grand, and I could get through an awful lot of wine whilst I'm waiting for him, or I could actually learn what it's all about and join in, and that's what I decided to do.
Pippa's really put women's poker on the map, something she's very proud of.
It is a game, an equal opportunity game to play, and there's no reason why women shouldn't be as successful in the game as men, and I would be very glad if people did say that something that I had done had decided them to start playing.
That incredible $200,000 win in the World Open has really fueled Pippa's ambitions in the game.
I want to win all of them. I'd like to be crowned Queen of Poker, please.
No one can predict what will happen tonight as our players compete for a seat at the final. We'll find out who's in and who's out after the break.
Sure.
Welcome back to the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. The first 3 finalists have made it through. Who will be joining them to compete for the $125,000 top prize? Ian Cox has been badly hit by Pippa's lucky donkey. Can he recover? We'll see. Let's get back to the action.
You can see Ian Cox sitting there. He's nearly frozen. Obviously, the wheels are turning. In hindsight, do you think he's going to start wishing he would have called? Or do you think he thinks he made the right move?
He hasn't got a clue, has he? He hasn't got a clue. He'll be the sickest man around the table if he goes out. I know that when he re-watches.
Pass. Pass.
Daz Hickman has limped in here with the small pocket pair. And one thing we learned about Daz Hickman in his heat is that he has that table image of a very slow, tight player. But he sort of explodes with these big moves at times, too.
Just thinking back to that last hand, Jesse, if he did go into it, you know, think about it, he can't put her on the straight, can he?
I don't see how. I mean,
she would have milked him for a few more chips instead of the all-in. So if you do think about it that way, he can't put her on a straight. He said, I think he said 10 deuce, but again, he can't.
She would have raised on the turn for sure.
Well, yeah, would have raised on the turn with once the 9 comes. But then again, you wouldn't have been all in there. You would have put a small raise in, hoping to get called.
Lascelles Barrow has flopped 3 10s here, and it is Daz Hickman who's taken a stab at the pot for 6,000. From what we know of Lascelles, does he like to fast play these type of hands?
Well, every time we've been guessing in his heat, Jesse, we kept guessing how he's going to play, and he just plays completely different each hand. So I'll leave the guessing to you here, I think.
Well, I'd kind of say that he hasn't made up his mind yet. He's decided to raise it, and
12,000 more, 18 total.
this is going to test what Daz Hickman knows about Lascelles, because if Lascelles raising on a flush draw or a 3, perhaps, Daz would have the best hand still.
Yeah.
Kind of automatic fold, you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Re-raise.
He's done it. It's completely right, ain't
5 more. Re-raised, all in.
Too quick. He'd never get a call now.
Yeah, it does seem kind of like the first bet Daz made was just mandatory. The second raise he made was a question. Now he's gotten a strong answer. And he'd have to be very stubborn to call.
Oh, he's got a fold. He's got a fold.
I mean, Daz would be...
You know, you'd like to put the other player on a 3. Then the next thing, you'd like to put them on 2 clubs. And even if you do that, you know you're going to be up against 2 overcards.
I would imagine Daz fancies his game enough to play himself out of off a 60,000 stack anyway.
Yeah, is that what he's going to have left? 55,000 he'll have left after this if he passes. Well, this has been exciting as well, Jesse.
It's amazing.
5 hands in.
You know, it's almost like the suspicion that these guys, we saw it last week, I think people psych themselves out a little bit, thinking people are more liable to make a move on them in this type of format. Yeah, and they they feel like they have to make a move because everybody else is making moves.
Exactly right. They think that everyone's at it.
It's funny how the rules of poker go out the window. But Daz is spending a lot of time thinking about, I mean, in all fairness, Ian, thinking about a hand that...
Can't call, can he?
You know... I mean, if he does call and see the 10-jack, he's going to say, oh, of course. Yeah, I mean...
He's had 2 goes at it, to be fair to him. Then he's re-raised again. So he's fired another shot into it, and the guy's just come straight back over the top as quick as lightning. You know, he just cannot call.
If he was watching Lascelles' heat, he will be aware that Lascelles played very fast, obviously, in the first level or 2, but, you know, sticking it all in a flush draw, it just really wasn't Lascelles' MO, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Pass.
at the end of the day, do you think maybe Daz just wanted to